Hey guys, how you doing out there, my fellow simmers? I hope you are doing awesome. So I'm diving right in. If you do not have CC Magic, you're going to want to, of course, install it. And you can install it from Mod The Sims here. So going through, you can give this a bit of a read. You will need the prerequisites. So you'll need all these programs here in order for CC Magic to work. So make sure that you have those. And then, of course, to download it, you just go to this download tab. Now there's a manual install and there's an automatic setup. So either one, I'm sure you're familiar with how to install programs into your computer. Now, usually I install most of my Sims 3 tools and everything on a different drive. So that's maybe where you want to install or use the manual install. But with CC Magic, I honestly can't even remember how I installed it. All I know is that it's in my program 86 files here. So it is on my C drive. And once you install it, wherever you install it, you can just go to the ccmagic.exe and, create a shortcut for your desktop or pin it to your taskbar, whatever is more convenient. I pin it to my taskbar because that's just way more convenient. If you are new to putting CC in your game, you are going to need the mods framework folder, and you can get that from Mod The Sims. And you just want to come down, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see this download. You just want to click that, and it'll download in a zip file. And the mods folder will be in there. So then you just want to drag and drop that in your Sims 3 Documents user folder, which most of you know already where that is, but I'll just show you just in case you're someone who maybe doesn't know. So just go to where your documents is. So documents, open up your documents, open up your electronic arts, and then open up your Sims 3 folder. And this is where you want to drag and drop that mods folder in there, and then you'll have it here. So moving on, there might be a couple different scenarios you might be in, one of which might be that you just want to start over with CC Magic and that you have a bunch of custom content installed through your launcher already as Sims 3 packs, but it's causing a lot of lag and all that, so you want to switch over. The other one could be that you have been using Sims 3 Package Editor to merge all your custom content, and now you want to maybe switch back to CC Magic or switch to CC Magic. In either case, it's better to work with a fresh Sims 3 Documents folder so you don't risk putting duplicate CC in your game. So you can just back that up and you can just take that Sims 3 Documents folder and drag it onto your desktop for easy access for later. Then you can just delete the one that's in there because it just copied over. Delete that. And then to get a fresh Sims 3 Documents folder, you just want to launch up your game and you can just launch that up to the launcher and close it out, and that will give you a fresh documents folder. We'll just do that right now. There we go. You see there's a fresh folder there now, and then you can just close out your launcher. Now, if you are somebody who is switching from using Sims 3 packs, of course, you'll have all your CC content installed through your launcher, so you will have to uninstall it from your launcher before putting it in CC Magic, of course. CC Magic does handle Sims 3 packs, so you don't have to turn them into package files. It'll do that for you. The only Sims 3 pack it doesn't handle is store content Sims 3 packs. It doesn't decrypt, so just keep that in mind, and hopefully you kept backups of all your packs. Otherwise, you will have to re-download everything again. If you are wanting to switch from Sims 3 Package Editor to CC Magic, or you're switching back again, hopefully you kept backups of all your individual files. If you didn't, you will need to unmerge your files first, of course. So there is a way with the cloning program, the Sims 3 object cloner, but this can be very time consuming if you do have a lot of custom content. But I'll show you how you can do it if you want to go that way. And of course, first you will need the program, and the link should be in the description. So you just want to find the executable, the exe, once you have it installed, and you open it up. And this is it here. So I have a merged file here. I'm currently in the process of switching back to CC Magic. So I'm just going to show you an example. So have your merged package ready that you want to unmerge. You're going to have to come up here to File and then Open Package. And then, of course, locate that one that you want to unmerge. Where is it? This one here. So I actually, all these package files that I did merge, I didn't rename them before. But the nice thing about this object cloner is it will show you all the names, so you can go ahead and rename them when you're saving them individually. And the other nice thing about this is, of course, you can just go through and pick and choose ones that maybe you don't want anymore, so the job won't be so bad. But this is a lot of content to have to go through just from one package merged and, clone them individually. It is quite a bit of work, but if you are determined to go back to CC Magic, you're going to have to do it this way if you didn't keep backups, of course. All right, so I'm going to just start at the top here. So I'll start with this coastal starfish, and you probably can't even read that because it's so small. So just click on it and it'll load it up here on the right panel. There we go. And so way down at the bottom on the right panel here, there's a clone or fix button. You want to click on that. And then over here on the left, there's a make clone option. So you want to make sure that's checked. And then you want to come down here and check include thumbnails. That's all you have to do. And then way at the bottom here, there's a start button. You want to click on that. And then here is where you can name it. So it's coastal starfish. You want to make sure there's no spaces. So just put an underscore, not any other character, because the game has a hard time reading those characters and then it'll take longer to load. Okay, so then you have it named. Just click save. You want to make sure you save it where you want. Now, it's obviously better to just make a folder on your desktop for all of it. But I'm just doing one example, so I don't need to do that. So there you go. Now you have it unmerged from that package file, and then you just rinse and repeat for everyone that you want. All right, so now let's open up CC Magic, and this is what it looks like here for those of you who've never seen it before. This program can look a little intimidating at first. It was for me when I first started using it, and it took me quite a while to learn how to use it for the way I want to organize my CC. Anyway, so that's all going to be personal preference. Of course, these are all suggestions. So now I'm just going to talk about sets first. Over here in this window, this is where you're going to make categories for all your custom content and organize it the way you want. So for making a main category and then making subcategories, you just want to click on default for making a main category. So I'm going to make a main category called cast for Create a Sim, because that's where I want all my Create a Sim items to go. So you just want to click on the main tab here and click on add for the main category. So it'll bring up a new set here, and this is where you want to change the name. So I'm going to name it cast. All right. So now I've got a main category. And so I did it this way because earlier I put some CC content in, and for female hair, and then some subcategories underneath. So what you can do if you want to switch around some of your categories, you can do that. So because I want female hair to actually go under my cast category, I can take this whole category and just drag and drop it there. And now it'll be under cast. All right. So you will also see a legacy folder here, and CC Magic reads your main mods folder, which is your legacy folder, and it just shows you all the other mods that you have installed in your game, like your script mods and your tuning mods. You'll see it all under here, but right now I don't have my regular mods folder in my game, so you don't see that. Right now it shows the fresh mods folder, so it has the no builds package and the no intro package file that by default comes with most mod framework files. All right. So to get your custom content in your game, of course, you're going to want to have whatever you want ready to go. And so it's better to do this in small doses. So when you transfer it into CC Magic, it's easier to organize. So I've chosen all my jewelry that I want in there. So I'm just going to highlight everything. And then in another window, you can either copy and paste this over or drag it over. You want to open up your Electronic Arts Sims 3 downloads folder, and that's where you want to put everything to begin with. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to close this folder. Now, if you don't have CC Magic open already, as soon as you open it, all these items from the downloads folder will automatically transfer over. Or if you have it already open, you can just click on this refresh button up here and everything will transfer over and leave that downloads folder. So now I'm just going to close that. So yes, everything newly imported will automatically go into this default tab, and then you just organize everything from there. So now that you have all your items ready to be organized in your sets, you can either, before you put any custom content in here or into CC Magic, you can make your sets first, which I recommend, or you can just do it in, step by step. So this is jewelry. So of course I want it under CAS. And I'm just going to make a subcategory for that. So I'm going to make sure that you have that category highlighted and then click add and then highlight the new set that it creates. And then you can name it up here. So I'm going to name it jewelry. And then from here, if you want, you can make subcategories. Say if you want bracelets, I'll just add a subcategory for that. And I'll put in bracelets. I don't know how to spell bracelets. Is it Leaats? Yeah. Some things I'm smart with, some things I'm not. Okay. Anyways, as long as you know what it is. All right. And then you can go back and make another set and call it necklaces, like that. And this is a really actually good way to categorize everything, because if you want to make collections later on, and I'll show you that a little bit later. All right, so go back to your default where you have all your stuff. And then from there, then you can see here that each piece of item has information about it. So you'll be able to know exactly what it is. In some cases, you'll even have an image here. Now you can just drag and drop it into wherever you need it to go. If you want to drag and drop a bunch of stuff in all at once, all you do is press Control A to highlight everything, and then hold down Control A and then drag all that stuff over into whatever category you want. And once you have everything put into your categories where you want them, then you want to click on Rebuild, and CC Magic will now merge all that content. And it will also keep a copy of your individual packages in another file outside of your Sims 3 gaming folder, which is very convenient for backup purposes, of course. Okay, so now that we've covered all that and how to build sets and organize all our custom content, I just want to go over what all these other tabs do and what you can do with them. And first, we're going to start with configurations. This is where you can do a couple different things. So this is where your enabled sets are and your disabled sets are. And this is where you can configure your game the way you want. So normally when you make a brand new set, you might not see it in your enabled sets right away. It'll be in disabled sets. And if you don't see it at all, then you can come up here and click refresh, and then it should show up here. Automatically, those new sets will be disabled. So you're going to want to enable them. And so these arrows here, if you click on the double arrows, it'll bring everything over to each one back and forth. And if you want to just disable one single subcategory of a set, like say adult female hair, you can highlight it and just click on the single arrow over here, and it'll bring it back and forth. So this is really convenient too, and really cool. Over here under configurations is where you can customize your own game styles. So for instance, if you want a game style with no CC building, and I've already made one here, you just click on add, and then beside name is where you want to name whatever game style that you want to play. So say if you want to play a legacy game style, you can just name it there, of course. And automatically, as soon as you click click add, everything, all your sets will be disabled. So then you can just customize it from there. So if you want to play that legacy game with no custom content, then you can just keep everything disabled. Or if you want certain pieces of CC in that game, then you would just highlight whatever you want, like female hair, adult subcategory, and then you can click the single arrow here and bring it over and customize it like so. So of course, for no CC building, you got everything disabled in there. And yeah, that just makes it really easy and convenient for quickly picking whatever game style you want and playing the game like that. If you want to play a certain configuration that you just created, you can select it from the drop-down menu up here, and then you will have to start your game through CC Magic in order for that new configuration to be written. If you do start the game normally, the configuration won't work. And then, of course, if you want to play your default, you can just go back to your default configuration and play normally that way, either by starting the game through CC Magic or using your launcher. And then, of course, if you want to remove a certain game style, then you would just highlight it and click remove, and it's gone. And then whatever that you had enabled for that certain set will be back over in disabled sets. So then you just want to re-enable it if you want. The collections tab. So coming over here into this tab, you want to create a new collection because you want to easily find it in-game, of course, just like you make in-game collections. And any in-game collections that you create, it will show up here in CC Magic as well. So to make a new collection, you want to just click this add button at the bottom. You want to highlight the new collection up here, and then you want to name it over here on the right. So for the sake of this video, I've made a set called Nursery. So I'm just going to name my collection the same as my set. So, and then underneath, you want to find an icon that is closely associated to whatever set that you're going to make. In this case, it has to do with babies. So I'm going to choose a baby soother. And then up here, you'll see that it changed here too. So go back to your sets, and then here is where you want to associate whatever set that you've made with that collection. So if you've made a new set, you want to make sure, like I said before, that you want to make sure that it's enabled. So if it's over here, you want to make sure it's under enabled sets. Otherwise, it won't show up. So you just want to highlight the title of your set here, and then you come up here to collections, and there's a drop-down menu. It should show the new collection that you just made. So you just want to choose that one, and then you want to click on rebuild, and then that should create that new collection or put those items within that collection. Sometimes it doesn't show up right away, the number of the items, and I've tested it before. Now, some people have said that even if the items don't show, that it'll show up in game. For me, it didn't show up in game. So, you know, this program is a little old and hasn't been updated for a long time, so it can be a little clunky. So if you just click the refresh, it should show up. So there they are there. 5 items that I had in that set. They're all in my collections now. Now, of course, your new collection will show up under buy and build, and it'll be in the collections folder here where all the other collections are. And you'll see it here and all the items that you put in there. So if you want to delete a collection from CC Magic, it doesn't always work. So you can delete it as many times as you want, refresh, rebuild, open and close the program, and the collection will still be there. So the only way I found to delete a collection if you really want it gone is to delete it from in-game. So just click on it and click the little trash button down at the very bottom there that you can barely see. and delete it from there. Also, if you've accidentally maybe clicked on add a new collection and you didn't want that and you're trying to remove it from CC Magic, it won't remove as well. And so for me, I've had to delete that from in-game as well. You'll see the new collection icon in here with no name, and then you can just delete it. And if you want to add a new object to your collection, so you're going to want to navigate back to your Sims 3 Documents Downloads folder, and then drag and drop that item in there. And then if you have CC Magic open, you can just click refresh and it'll automatically bring that item over into the default tab as normal. And then, of course, if you want that a certain object in that collection, then you're going to go back to default here and just drag and drop that object into that set. So it's not going to show in your collections tab right away. So you're going to want to click on rebuild again, go back, and then click on refresh, and then the item will show up in that collections that you wanted. So rebuild and refresh button is your best friend with CC Magic. Options tab. So there's a few choices over here, few options. So under game exe override, this just means that you can put in maybe another launcher that you want your game to launch through. I have the Lazy Duchess launcher. I'm not sure if you can bypass the launcher through here as well, because I've tried to put in just my sims3.exe to start the game through here, and it will bring up the Lazy Duchess launcher. It doesn't bypass it, but Lazy Duchess does have a bypass on her launcher anyways. So for the default launcher for the game, I'm not sure if you can do that with this. It might be something that you could try if you do want to bypass that launcher and you don't have Lazy Duchess launcher. It's just an idea, it's just a suggestion. You could try it. It's not going to hurt to try it. I do, however, have my game booster in here. So I like to start my game through my game booster most of the time. So I just put that, of course, that program address in there. And if I play through CC Magic, it will automatically bring up my game booster like that. And then I can just select my Sims 3 game like that and start my game that way. If I have CC Magic open, and it's more convenient as well, not always am I in CC Magic. So I just start it the regular way. And also this force resource compression. So if you click this will compress your consolidated packages to reduce disk usage. In some cases, if people are running out of space, that might help. But like it says, it slows down rebuilds dramatically. And then, of course, your additional Resource.cfg entries. Now, this code is in here by default, and I need to explain something important. When you get your Mod The Sims framework from that site and you install it into your Sims 3 documents folder, you're going to have a resource.cfg file. And this file is really important. So if you highlight it and open it up with Notepad, you can just right click and edit in Notepad. You're going to see this lines of code here. And what this means is it just gives priority to how your mods and your CC is loaded. And for some people, this might be really important. So how they want to organize their mods and their custom content within their game. So you're going to get an overrides file here. And this is going to be the top priority for how everything is loaded in your game. And this is important because you want anything you put in overrides. Of course, that's what overrides means, is it's going to want to override any of your other packages for a good reason. So any kind of like retextures for hair in that will override EA's textures, and any mod that tells you that it needs to go in overrides, you need to put it in overrides. Any store content fixes. And most importantly, if you are installing premium store content into your game, you're going to want to have known as CC merge. Now, I talk more about that in my previous video titled Premium Content Fix and Install and all that, if you want to check that out. But yeah, so you're going to want to put that CC merged in overrides. And the reason why you want to do that is so it'll override any store content that you do install into your game, and it will fix certain issues that premium content might have. So having the code structured this way is important because for some people, they have a ton of CC and they need more files to bury their content in. So they have to make subcategories of categories, kind of like we do in CC Magic. Well, this will let you bury up to 5 folders within your mods folders, and the game will still read it. That's what all this means. But for me, the way I organize my mods folder, I do this because CC Magic can be a little finicky with premium content. Of course, it doesn't decrypt, like I said. And it's just like how I like to organize my mods. So if I go into packages here, I do create a store folder and I call it store. And the capital S is important because I have an extra little bit of code. And if I can find it here. So at the bottom here, there's this extra little bit of code that I put at the bottom of this other code. And so it's priority 400. So it's at a lower priority. And like I said, it's called store and it has a capital S. And that is so overrides will, definitely read, the game will read it, and CC merged that's in overrides will override that store content and fix anything that might be broken. So that's the other reason I do that. And if you are interested in organizing your files that way, of course, I'll leave these codes below. So another important thing that why I'm mentioning all this as well is because when you first fire up CC Magic, it will override that resource and it won't have that code in it anymore. So this whole code here will be gone. What it will have is, I'm kind of getting confused because I got so much open here. Sorry. This is the one here. So this is in my game already. So normally, when you first open up CC Magic, it will override your mods folder. It'll put its own mods framework in, and it'll override whatever code that you have in there already, which is not cool. You don't want that, right? So it'll have this line up here. That's something you never want to delete or touch anyways, because this is what reads your custom content, or how CC Magic reads it. And if you delete this line of code, you won't have your custom content in your game. You'll also have it priority 500 this here, and you'll have down to overrides. That's all you'll have, and the rest will be gone. So in order to keep everything the way you want it, being read in that fashion, especially if you have the priority 400 for your store file at the bottom, you're going to want to change that in your window here. You're going to want to take this whole code here from priority 501 all the way down and just highlight it and copy and paste it in this window. And that way, every time you go to put new content in and refresh things and rebuild things, CC Magic won't override that code and take that code away that you want in there. And as you see here, when CC Magic does open up, you won't have an overrides folder either. So this is why it's really important to back up your Sims 3 folder before you do any of this. So now we can, at the end, we can restore everything we need to restore, including our game settings, of course, because if we don't restore that, then we'll have to go back in and, reset everything in those settings. And that's always a pain in the butt. So anyways, as well, I want to explain, if you do end up renaming any of these folders within your mod structure, packages or overrides, if you name it to something else, you will need to change the name in your Resource.cfg file as well, of course. And then you're going to have to copy and paste that into your CC Magic too. I hope that's all making sense to you. If not, of course, that's what the comment section is for down below. So yeah, if you have any questions, please ask away and I'll do my best to clarify anything. So moving on, we're just going to go over a few more things with CC Magic, and then let's get our folders back into our game. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a couple other things you can do in CC Magic, and then we're going to move on to folders so you can understand how CC Magic manages all your merged content. Okay, so if you're searching out an item or need to find something and you have a ton of CC, you can use this filter option over here to search. The only thing is that you have to make sure that whatever you're searching for, the category is highlighted. That's the only kind of downfall about searching in here for anything. So that's why I suggest really trying to organize your content as best as you can, just in case there is something that you really need to find, or if it's causing issues, you need to get rid of it, whatever. For instance, like if I'm trying to find a chair, if you remember anything about that, like any details about that chair, like for instance, the creator, you can just type it in the filter search bar here and it should come up. But if you can't remember any details about that, then you're just going to have to go through and find the item the hard way, unfortunately. Okay, so also with clear cache, when you do this through CC Magic, it'll just clear your cache files from your Sims 3 documents folder. So and then it'll ask you, do you also wish to clear all custom launcher cache data? If you do this, then it has to rebuild all your sets again, and that might take a while if you have a lot. So that's not really necessary. And most people use Regal Saber to clear all their cache files anyways, or they have a different way of doing it. I never use this to clear my cache, so that's about it for using CC Magic. CC Magic can be a little glitchy. Sometimes when I've come in here and I've been just trying to organize some of my content and that, all of a sudden I'll go into like one of my categories and everything will be missing. So that can be kind of frustrating. But if you click refresh or just close out the program and open it, usually that will resolve any kind of little glitches you might find. Like for one in collections here. Well, you can see now. So this is a good example. So in my collections, I usually have my item, like I did my sets, right? So I go down here. What is it? I put all the stuff that I'm not sure what it is because it's got a different language name and it's been a long time. So I put it in its own collection so I can see it in game. And up here, you can see it's in that collection. Same with my nursery collection. It's showing that these items are in that collection, but when you come over to the collections tab, there's nothing there. So if you click refresh, they'll show up. So those kind of things you got to keep in mind with this program. All right, so let's move on to folders. Okay, so CC Magic processes your items and keeps backups of all your items that you merge through it. So you can find those out of your game file. But in Electronic Arts, it'll be here in its own folder. So here's the cache. So when you click on that clear cache, it will clear the thumbnails here if you want to do that. And so here is the content. This is where it'll keep all your individual backup files of everything that you've merged in here, which is really nice. So if you want, you can take all of these and put them in another backup folder and then put those on a drive if you want to be really careful. And that's something actually that I do. But when I have all my individual stuff backed up, I back it up in such a way that's easy to put back into CC Magic. This is how I keep all my CC content organized in its own folders. That way, when I'm putting stuff back into CC Magic, then it's a lot easier. Okay, so then this is the corrupt folder. And so anything that, say you accidentally put a Sims 2 file there and it can't handle it, it will go into the corrupt file here. Sims 3 packs, it'll keep all your Sims 3 packs that you merge through. It'll keep it all in here in the Sims 3 pack folder. And then the store Sims 3 packs, all those packs will be in this folder here. And for your archives, this file will keep copies of your downloads folders unmodified. So if you're going on, like, say, a shopping spree, this is kind of a helpful tip. You can always direct your browser's downloads to go into your Sims 3 documents downloads folder. And then some things that you do download will be, in a zip file. It could be in WinRAR, it could be 7-zip, it could be whatever zip file. CC Magic does process zipped files as well. So if you process any items through zip files through CC Magic, it will put those files into your archives. So that covers those ones there. The ones that are in your game, you just go into Sims 3, mods, and cache. This is where it'll show all your sets that you've made, and it will have all your merged content in here. Now, there's one little tip that I can tell you, just if you want to make sure, if you delete anything out of CC Magic, any items, it will delete out of this merged package, if you're wondering. Because I know that with the EA launcher, a lot of times when you delete stuff out of there, it won't delete out of the merged. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But with CC Magic, it will always delete out of the merged package file as well. And if you want to get really technical and check, you can open this package up with Sims 3 Object Cloner program, and it will show you everything that it has in this package. It'll show you the names. Here's another helpful tip. And this is what helps me, or what I do. If I am sorting through my CC and trying to put things in sets, and if I run across certain items that I don't remember what they are and they have funny names, this is what you can do, is just create a collection. So create a set with just everything that you're not sure what it is. And then you can just see, mine is called What Is It? That's my collection. And so then, yeah, you can just see what everything is in game and then take note of everything. And you can go into CC Magic's folders, so the content folder, and then you can just rename it there if you want. For restoring your original Sims 3 file back into your game, hopefully you did copy a backup on your desktop before we started. You're just going to want to drag that original copy back into your game folder, so documents and electronic arts, and you want to replace the files in this destination. So you just want to go through and make sure everything is good. All your files are there, all your original files. If you were switching back from Sims 3 package editor to CC Magic, or just switching over and you had all your merged package files in your mods folder, just make sure that you drag them out of there before you returned your original folder back in, of course. So I did that at the very beginning, as I just took all my merged CC files out, and that way you avoid getting, duplicates in your game. All right, so now that that's done, one more important thing you have to do, because remember you changed your Resource.cfg file, and that's not a big deal. So this code won't be in here now, of course. Like I said earlier, I left this code in the description below, so you can just copy and paste that code back in that file. And you should be good to go now. All your CC should be good to go in CC Magic, all sorted and ready to play your game. And if this video helped you out, please give it a like and subscribe. That would help me out too. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers. And until next time, have a good one, guys.